about me.
There
he said,
Mr. Confidence returns to save fighting again. Call your grandma. Nanny, we did it. Watch and pay me. Fuck you, pay me. You fat Irish prick. You don't have my money. I put your brain to sleep. Who's that? What's that about? Who's he talking about? C is in the casinos after. The Mac loves yous all. I got love for yous. It's an It's an honor. It's light work. It's easy. For life and eternity, it's McGregor. How drunk was he when he wrote this? I do this fight game easy peasy. The sound of my shots off the head go bing in green dot laser form. Okay. Well, I really hope he is actually back. I mean, he's the most dynamic personality the sport's ever known.
and he was for a time there just such an unbelievable fighter. I mean, he was it was incredible what he was doing.
The Eddie Alvarez fight.
Oh yeah, I was
example.
there. I was there. Well, thanks to you. With really good seats, thanks to you. But that was one of the best. That might be the best fight I've ever been to live because that whole card was just stacked, and that as the main event was just unbelievable.
Bro, he was in the Matrix. He was in the Matrix. He was just in the zone. You know, Dana said it best. He's like, that kid eats pressure. He goes, he eats it.
Yeah.
Like he thrives on pressure. Pressure that makes other people wilt.
Yes.
He like shines under that pressure.
And he had an amazing ability, even very early in his career, which was like kind of, it was really unique. Like, because even like on his first fight ever, if you watch his first fight in the UFC against like Brimage, I think the guy's name is, and he was a relatively unknown at the time. But dude, the place is going nuts. He already had made so much kind of like street cred for himself, and then the Irish thing, like the Irish were really, really into it. But he, from the very first fight, he would always create these moments where it's like, dude, this is going to be the biggest spectacle that my opponent, has ever been in their career. Like, I'm going to get you mad with shit talk, and I'm going to get the fans so excited because he's completely comfortable there.
Right.
Like, I'm not sure if you're really comfortable here, but and even with Aldo, who had been the entire division. He literally, when they started the division, they started him as champion. He didn't even win it. He came in because they absolved the WEC. Champion. So he was the entire featherweight division, had just dominated everyone, and he even created such a moment that like Aldo was like...
he was the boogeyman.
Yeah, dude, he was incredible.
He's
one of the greatest
featherweights of all time.
But he got him to the point where he was like so furious that he was like, "I'm gonna take this fucking guy's head off." And then Conor's just like relaxed. He's like he didn't care about any of the shit talking. He was just like, "Yeah, we're having fun. Let's play."
He lost his composure. Yeah, and he looked very overwhelmed by the moment. And by the way, everyone from Ireland came to Vegas for that fight. It was the nuttiest thing I've ever seen in my fucking life. The entire Mandalay Bay was overcome with...
Expected hacks, because I'm coming in fast. I tell you this, how are you doing after your 5-round fight with Oliveira? I thought some of the shots went to the back of the head. You had an opportunity to repay the favor you didn't take. I was disappointed in the result and the outcome of the bout and the shape the bout took. But how's the body? How are you feeling?
What it is, bro.
How's Hawaii?
I'm good.
I look forward to seeing you again in Las Vegas.
Hawaii's great, brother. Hawaii's great. I can't wait to see you in the ninth island, brother. How's Dublin? I heard you're sleeping in the gym, so that's great to hear, man. We're glad to have you back. I can't wait to get in there and mix it up, bro. We're gonna make some records.
Max, your fight with Conor was an early loss in your career, and I know you've been very vocal about wanting to get that victory back.
Oh, for sure. For sure. It's super fun, you know what I mean? But in Conor's words, you know, I don't even think that's a loss. He said he only count finishes. And last time I checked, that was a decision. So we're on over into this fight. And
I like this. I like this. Go ring the bell.
I like it.
I swear. My head is everything here. My head is everything. Come, I hope this. Then I hope this. Boom, boom, boom. Okay? Boom, boom, boom. The fight is over here. The fight is over here. And then I want this head. Boom, boom, boom. From here. Boom, boom, boom. End the fight. Whatever. All day, all night. Why? His head is right here. Oh, my strong rockets. These are missiles, yeah. These are fucking missiles.
Conor McGregor is in everyone's eye once again. After all of the injuries and setbacks that McGregor has faced in recent years, there are many questions regarding his future performance and ability to make it big again. However, McGregor is once again back on top form and facing Max Holloway in the upcoming fights. With every training session, every interview, and every prediction, the excitement around McGregor's future fights is only growing. Will he make it big once again, or will the pressure of facing Holloway get the better of him?
Obviously, he's coming up against Max Holloway in a great fight. How do you see that matchup between those two?
Personally, I think because it's at welterweight, I see Conor knocking him out. Like, everyone's counting Conor out and thinks that Max is going to win. If it goes to the later rounds, yeah, Max definitely probably start piecing him up on the feet because he's got that cardio and the volume. But the fact that it's at welterweight, I think, favours Conor because Charles made Max look small at lightweight. So imagine how big Conor's going to look compared to him.
You better get ready.
I felt like they could have done announcement with Conor and Holloway at the White House. I feel like that would have went really well for them. I think that would have been cool. I was also thinking about this on the drive-in. One of the reasons, many of reasons, they didn't put Conor on the White House card. Number one is the ticket sales, right? You can tell he's a big draw. Number two is, can you imagine the backlash that the left, CNN would have ran with if Conor, with his accusations in Dublin, going through, the grape stuff and all that?
That's interesting.
I bet you that had a hand in it where they're like, hey, this is the White House. We're already getting a ton of shit for it. Do we really want Conor's comeback fight after going through all those legal issues in Dublin being at the forefront of this? And the ticket sales, they're like, it's just a lose-lose. I bet you that had something to do with it. They didn't want that negative attention stealing the storylines.
Off on Gaethje.
That's the fight. If Conor McGregor beats Max Holloway beat Justin Gaethje. So the UFC can legitimately make Justin Gaethje versus Conor McGregor immediately. And you put Conor McGregor in a fucking title fight. If he has a really good performance against Max Holloway, which feels very unlikely, but let's say it happens. What a fucking fight. Because Justin Gaethje's stock has gone through the roof after the White House. I mean, he's a bona fide legend now. That would be a fucking amazing fight. And that point was pretty much the end of the interview, actually. So yeah, McGregor, is he changing? I think he is, but I think it's going to be a constant battle and one that he might get knocked down in a few times more before he eventually comes to the point that you kind of hope he would come to. But at least we're seeing some resemblance of a humbleness about him and just speaking like a man who's actually learned a thing or two over the years, which I think for a long time, it was amazing how he wasn't.
For Michael Bisping, the key was to talk about the importance of the fight for the legacy of McGregor. Bisping confessed that he doesn't know whether McGregor has kept up with the game and whether this fight will define his career. The reason is that in case of losing, there would be a lot of ammo for criticizing everything McGregor accomplished. At the same time, Michael Bisping recalled all the reasons why Conor McGregor became such a huge star. For example, he mentioned the way McGregor crushed Eddie Alvarez to become the UFC's first double champion and his spectacular KO of Jose Aldo.
But the sport has evolved, and I don't know if Conor McGregor necessarily has. Now, this is a big fight for him, for the sport, for his legacy, right? Because a lot of people are going to talk shit. If he loses this fight, fair weather fans, new people are going to be like, oh yeah, he doesn't seem like he was that good. The McGregor back in the day was that good. That's plain and simple. The way that he took out Eddie Alvarez, that was just beautiful. The Jose Aldo thing, that was one punch that was perfectly timed, incredible. But when he became double champ against Eddie Alvarez, that was a masterclass performance, okay? And then on the microphone saying, I'm going to apologize to absolutely nobody, standing there with the 2 belts on, the first person to ever do it. It was incredible. I'm not glazing the guy. No one can deny that. And that's why he became the biggest star on the planet. And that's why he got opportunities to go and face someone like Floyd Mayweather and make the ridiculous amount of money that he...
However, according to Bisping, McGregor's mindset has altered with regards to the fight as well. This is because the fighter looks more relaxed and completely understands how important the fight is. He says that he is aware of the fact that he cannot afford to be as careless during this fight as he was during previous ones because he can no longer afford to lose considering his age. He would face the pressure from everyone for retiring, and he might lose his place in the ranks of the best ever boxers.
He lives a quiet life on the island of Hawaii, okay, on Hilo or whatever whichever island it is. I'm not too sure off the top of my head. Mike's blessed Holloway. Where's he come from? Honolulu? I don't know off the top of my head. Let me know in the comment section, please. But still, what do you think about McGregor, this new version of himself? He does seem to have calmed down a little bit. He does seem to be taking this one very, very seriously. And he has to. Because if he doesn't get the job done here, at 38 years old, and I think he'll be turning 39 3 days after the fight, if he loses, people will be saying it's time for him.
This is not the only view that has fueled the ongoing debate. Although Bisping highlighted the significance of the match in shaping McGregor's legacy, Paddy Pimblett is already forecasting a successful return. The promising UFC fighter feels that moving up to the welterweight division could turn out to be advantageous for McGregor, since it would put him at an obvious size and strength edge against Max Holloway. As such, Pimblett believes that McGregor will manage to knock out his opponent long before the late stages of the bout. However, he did accept that if Holloway manages to make it through the initial threat, his non-stop offense could give him the upper hand.
Obviously, he's going up against Max Holloway in a great fight. How do you see that matchup between those two?
Personally, I think because it's at welterweight, I see Conor knocking him out. Like, everyone's counting Conor out and thinks that Max is going to win. If it goes to the later rounds, yeah, Max definitely probably start piecing him up on the feet because he's got that cardio and the volume, but the fact that it's at welterweight, I think, favours Conor because Charles made Max look small at lightweight. So imagine how big Conor's going to look compared to him at welterweight.
However, the conversation about the McGregor return is not only limited to the octagon. Brendan Schaub was among those who provided his interpretation of why the UFC allegedly excluded McGregor from the alleged White House appearance. Even though Brendan was certain that a McGregor versus Holloway fight announcement at such an event would stir huge interest, he is convinced that the organization did not wish to invite any troubles for themselves. According to Brendan, legal problems that McGregor has been facing for some time now, along with all the media attention, might actually become the focus of the event rather than what was supposed to happen there.
I felt like they could have done announcement with Conor and Holloway at the White House. I feel like that would have went really well for them. I think that would have been cool. I was also thinking about this on the drive-in. One of the reasons, many of reasons, they didn't put Conor on the White House card. Number one is the ticket sales, right? You can tell he's a big draw. Number two is, can you imagine the backlash that the left, CNN, would have ran with if Conor, with his accusations in Dublin, going through, the grape stuff and all that?
That's interesting.
I bet you that had a hand in it where they're like, hey, this is the White House. We're already getting a ton of shit for it. Do we really want Conor's comeback fight after going through all those legal issues in Dublin being at the forefront of this? And the ticket sales, they're like, it's just a lose-lose. I bet you that had something to do with it. They didn't want that negative attention stealing the storylines.
Another view on this topic was offered by YouTube commentator Brian Davis, who asked about the reasons behind the decline of Conor McGregor's career, despite all the success he managed to achieve at the beginning. In particular, he wanted to know who had to be blamed for this, either the UFC or McGregor himself. Davis confessed that it is hard for him to figure out what made McGregor sit out for so long while he was still under the contract. From this perspective, he said that McGregor's quick rise was one of the most impressive stories in MMA ever. However, these subsequent years were just a waste of talent. In addition to discussing the match with Holloway, Davis also talked about the potential future for McGregor should he manage to pull off the upset victory. According to Davis, a strong performance against Holloway will place Justin Gaethje squarely in the line of fire to fight next, and if McGregor performs well enough in that match, a title fight may soon follow. Although Davis himself stated that the prospect seems highly unlikely, he said that this particular fight would definitely be among the biggest the UFC could book. Davis went on to say that he thinks McGregor is growing up, becoming a bit more humble and reflective than he used to. Discussing the impact of larger-than-life stars in combat sports, Logan Paul singled out Conor McGregor as the gold standard. He argued that few athletes have transformed MMA's popularity the way McGregor did, describing him as a truly unique figure whose influence stretches far beyond the octagon. Reflecting on meeting McGregor in Washington, D.C., Logan said his charisma is just as powerful in person as it appears on screen. However, he also acknowledged the uncertainty surrounding McGregor's return, warning that after spending so much time away from competition, facing elite opponents who have remained active presents an enormous challenge. As the debate over McGregor's comeback continues, another fighter who knows the situation better than most has also weighed in. For months, many fans expected Michael Chandler to be the man welcoming McGregor back to the octagon, only for that opportunity to seemingly shift to Max Holloway instead. Yet despite being left out of the picture, Chandler has shown no bitterness. The former Bellator champion said he has nothing but respect for Holloway, describing him as one of the sport's most admired competitors. In Chandler's view, if anyone was going to replace him as McGregor's opponent, Holloway was the ideal choice. Not everyone believes money is driving McGregor's return. Wade Plemons argued that while McGregor is expected to earn one of the biggest paydays in MMA history against Max Holloway, financial rewards are no longer the real motivation. Having already built immense wealth outside the octagon, Plemons believes McGregor has nothing left to prove in terms of earnings. Instead, he sees this comeback as a personal challenge, driven by a genuine desire to compete again and test himself against one of the sport's toughest opponents. In Plemons' view, that passion for fighting is what makes McGregor's return worthy of respect. Plemons also believes McGregor's lengthy absence hasn't been caused solely by injuries or personal setbacks. In his view, the UFC has deliberately waited for the perfect moment because McGregor remains the promotion's biggest commercial attraction. With such a massive payday attached to every appearance, the organization wants to maximize the value of his return by placing him on the biggest possible stage. Plemons suggested that contract negotiations and financial discussions have likely complicated the process as well, as McGregor himself has repeatedly claimed he still sees himself as the UFC's biggest draw, making every decision surrounding his comeback far more significant than an ordinary fight. Now it's over to you. Does Conor McGregor have what it takes to beat Max Holloway once again, or will Blessed finally get his revenge? Share your prediction in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more MMA news, fight breakdowns, and updates.